Hello traders, welcome back to my channel. I'm Janoy with Trading the Charts Pro, and in this video I'm going to break down 4 charts that has a very strong bounce off support pattern that I use to trade every day when this pattern is present. I'm going to show you how you should be looking at this pattern in the market to help increase the probability of you making profits in this market. Let's go. Alright guys, so I have my platform up, I have my charts up, and today we're going to start learning how to identify a triple bottom bounce off support. Alright, yes guys, you heard me right. We're going to be talking about the bounce off support, but not just any bounce off support. We are looking on the triple bottom bounce. Alright, what is this? The triple bottom bounce, guys, all this is the price action coming down to support and bouncing off that same level 3 times, and the third time is the charm. All right guys, so I'm going to show you how once you see price bounce off support 1 time, it happens a 2nd time, and then a 3rd time you see price come to support, bounce. That is a ideal place to take a entry on a trade with the probability that price action has the ability to move back to the upside. All right, so right here guys, the first chart that we have up is MVIS. All right, this is a semiconductor stock, but before we look at anything else, do you see anything inside the chart that looks consistent? Guys, one thing about the stock market is a place where you have actions happening over and over and over. Nothing is actually new in the stock market. It's just price action doing things that it has done before. It's going to do it in the future. It's going to do it sometime later on down the road. So what I like to do is get good at identifying those characteristics that I have seen before, and I will use those characteristics to help make projections as to where price action has the ability to go based on what it has done before. All right, so what we're ultimately saying is that if we know what price does before, we can use that as a guide to what it can potentially do in the future. All right, so when we look at MVIS right here, guys, we see that basically right around March 8th, MVIS came down to about $10, right? And from that level, we see MVIS run up, almost back up into the resistance. It didn't get as high as it did before. And again, what do we see? MVIS pull back down almost to $10 again, right? So basically, this is where we come in and we identify our support level. And this is where we map out the $10 level, right? So what we're ultimately saying is that if MVIS comes back down to $10 and bounce, there is a probability that there is a low risk trade right around the $10 level in anticipation of price moving back somewhere to the $17 or potentially to the $24 level, right? So when we look at it, we see MVIS bounce 1 time at 10, 2 time, around 10. And guys, look what happened just last week or earlier this week that just went by. MVIS came right back down to $10, build a very nice consolidation, and this was the day to get in on MVIS and take a trade with the probability that it has the ability to move back up to 17 or probably $24. Right? So when we clean this up and we look for the bounce, this would be the day of the bounce. We take our entry on this day, put in our stop loss right below the low, which is right below this level here. So what we're ultimately saying is that as long as MDIS doesn't break below this level, we believe that there's a probability that the stock can move back up to 17. And this is where you start to measure risk reward ratio. So basically, based on what the stock has done before, we're saying that this is the support because it has bounced at this level before. So if this is the bottom, what is the risk? It means that once it breaks the bottom, or risk could be a break below the bottom, which you can put a $1 risk or a $1.50 risk below the support in anticipation of making all the reward, which is if the stock go from this level back up to this level, that is all rewards. All right, so that's the first stock that I wanted to look at. Let's move on over to another stock, and this is EMPH. All right, guys, so when we zoom out, typically I like to look at a 1-year chart. 6 months is good enough also. So when we look at EMPH over the last 2 months from March, we see that EMPH came down to 130, price bounce, it went up, right? EMPH pulled back roughly to 130, it bounced, it moved higher, guys. So we've seen the action twice. So this is where we come in and we put our support level roughly at the $30 level. And what we're basically saying is that if EMPH pull back down to this very same level, so we see it once, we see it twice, and if it comes back to this level and bounce, right, which this is the day we got the bounce, and this is the day we got the confirmation. So practically, 3 trading days ago was the time to enter EMPH, and look at what it's doing right now. When we look at this, we see EMPH breaking out of this triangular pattern, which when we take everything into consideration, price run up, pulls back, this is called a ascending triangular pattern. We got the breakout, now price is moving higher. But what we really wanted to zoom in on is identifying a triple bottom bounce of support. This pretty much shows you that price is not able to break below that support level. That is the low risk level to take the trade, and you put your stop loss below that level. If price breaks below that level, it means that we were wrong in terms of our anticipation, and we move on to the next next trade. All right, so we're gonna keep going. The next one that I want to look at is Blink. All right, so Blink, guys, I'm gonna move on over to a different time frame so we can see this thing a little bit better. So for Blink did break all the way down to 24, but we see that price action literally bounced around the $30 level, right? So Blink run up, pull back to that 32 level, and then price bounce, run higher. So when we map this out, this is support 1 time, 2 time, roughly right inside this level, and here we got the 3rd time. Price is bouncing off that 32 level, so right inside this level, guys, that was a time to take an advantage of the triple bottom bounce off support in anticipation of price moving back up to 46. All right, so that's just another stock that has a triple bottom bounce. One more that I want to look at is PLTR. This is a very, very popular stock, but popularity doesn't mean anything to me. What matters is where is the support. So we see price came down 22 here about, then price pulled back down, came down to 20, price pulled back down inside the 2021 area, and what do we have? Price pulled back down into that 2021 area again, guys. So this is where we come in, we highlight this support level, at least the lowest point of support, right? And we see 1, 2, 3 times PLTR came down to that support level, and each time it came down, we got the bounce, we got the confirmation, price moved up a bit, now Price pulled back. We got the bounce, right? And the confirmation inside this there, because that's a bullish engulfing candle. And here we are moving back up. If we get a breakout of the 26 level, then PLTR has the probability to continue moving back up to the upside. All right, so guys, that's 4 stocks that has a triple bottom bounce of support. And what this pretty much means is that this support level is a strong support level, and price is not able to break below that level. So that's where you come in and take a low risk entry with a high probability, because if it bounced once and it bounced twice, there's a high probability that the third time is the charm. All right, guys, so if you did like this video, just hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification bell so that when my next video full with content comes out, you'll be the first to get notified. Thank you for watching.